Hello YouTube, welcome back to the shop. In this episode of What's in Yours, we are going to be comparing two price point scooters, going over some of the specs and build qualities of the scooters. Now, in a previous video that I did, I compared the Dualtron 3, which is around a $2,800 scooter, to the Nanrobot RS7, which is around the same price. And I wanted people to see the differences between the two scooters at that price point. Well, this video is going to be concentrated on a high price point to a low price point. So the Nanrobot RS7 was $2,700 and the D5 Plus 2.0 was $1,380 shipped to my door. So we'll go over some of the specs and we'll get a closer look into these scooters. But to my YouTube family, as many Nanrobot videos as I've done, someone suggested, hey, they should send you a LS7 or a RS11 so you can do a review on that. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because when I bought this RS7, I would think it was like 3, 4, maybe 5 days after I made the purchase, they quit offering this on their website, because I thought this was a great scooter mid-price point, because it had the 32 amp hour battery, all the bells and whistles that you could want on it. Because the LS7, that has two scooters. They're both similar except different battery sizes. One is $21.99 and the other one's $31.99. 26 amp hour battery compared to a like 35, somewhere around in there. And then you have the RS11, which is a $3,100 or $3,200 scooter, and that one has, I think, a 38 amp hour battery in it. So with this one having a 32 amp hour, I said, okay, well, it's kind of in between, $2,700. Okay, let me go for that. Well, now they don't offer it anymore, and so I mean, I could sit here and talk about it all day, but if you can't purchase it, it's kind of like, what's the point? But hopefully we're here. We all like scooters. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a raise of hands of who wants Nanrobot to send me either the LS7 or the RS11 so I can review it here for my channel. Okay, you. All right, well, it's unanimous. So Nanrobot, if you're listening or you're watching this video, my YouTube viewers would like you to send me one of those two scooters so I could do a review for them in a performance test. All right, thank you very much. All right, so moving on. So let's get into some of these specs. And while I'm thinking about it, I want to highlight the front shocks on the D5 Plus. I've had very limited time to ride this. Of course, all you guys know that I've only had the scooter for a very short period of time. But the reason why the front shocks are not banging on this scooter is because they're coil-over hydraulic shocks. And once I got a closer look at it, I realized that's what it was. They're just not the spring shocks, and because they're really quiet. And and then I started thinking, well, they look real similar to the ones they have on the D4 Plus. So I was thinking, well, maybe the people that have the D4 Plus do a little bit of research, but they do sell those same shocks on the Nanrobot website. So maybe they'll fit. Maybe it's something you can look into. So it'd be worth just exploring. And if that's the case, you can eliminate that banging. But then they also too sell those O-ring dampener rubber things on their website too, just for that particular instance. So it's up to you which route you want to go with it. But let's take a closer look at these scooters. So I'm gonna grab the camera and we're gonna start from the front and go to the back. All right, so first thing we're gonna go over lighting. Everybody loves lighting on their scooters. I do too, one for practical purposes, another for, looking cool. And of course, the RS7, these lights right here, I can't say enough about them. They're pretty awesome. They have that red LED halo going around them. They're super bright. You can adjust them up and down and kind of side to side to kind of give you that beam, whatever type of beam you prefer. And you will not outrun these lights, even going 40, 50 miles an hour. You won't outrun them. So no aftermarket light needed for this scooter. Now for the D5 Plus, it's just this normal LED, light here. I don't know the technical name for it. It's okay, but you're going to have to get an aftermarket light if you're going to ride at night. That's a must have. And then while we're here, let's look at these shocks, and you can see the hydraulic shocks in there and then the springs. And so that's the coil over. And then also has those rubber pieces in there as a dampener. So, it doesn't bottom out right there. So that's why those shocks are so quiet. All right, and then while we're here on the front, let's look at the tires. 10-inch tire here, road tires. And then I got an 11-inch tire, but look how massive those tires are. And then look at these. Of course, I'm comparing a $2,700 scooter to a $1,400 scooter. So, you would expect for this to, have a lot more options and be a little bit more beefier. I can't say enough about this scooter right here. I really wish they offered it. Because I got to ride my buddy's Dualtron 3, and I prefer this one. It's faster, at higher end speeds. Yes, is it a little bit better quality? Some of the components are a little bit better quality, yes. But this has a great chassis. It's beefy. It rides really well. I feel really comfortable jumping off of things with it if I feel like getting a little crazy. The handlebars are great, and there is no play in this handlebar. I mean, it's rock solid. I have no reserves about doing whatever I want to do on that scooter within certain limitations. Also, too, this scooter has a gooseneck, so you can adjust this up and also adjust it right here for whatever your comfort level is. And then also, too, I've said before, this scooter is really good for us tall guys. I'm 6'2". It fits me really well. It makes me feel real comfortable and real secure when I'm riding on the scooter. The D5 Plus, of course, I bought for my wife. She's 5'5", and this is perfect for her. The speeds are fine. And while we're talking about speeds, of course, this one won't do more than 32 to 34 miles an hour. Yes, again, I'm a 210-pound guy, so that's going to affect the speed a lot. It does get up almost to 34 miles an hour with my wife on it. And so she really likes it. Has the normal lock-in mechanisms here. This one has like this little brass washer in here. Kind of locks it down a little bit better. These handlebars will move side to side on you if this isn't real tight. Same thing with this one, since these necks are round. But speaking of the necks, I don't have a lot of play in this one. I mean, there's a little bit, but nothing that makes me feel uncomfortable or, dangerous about it. They do have bolts up under here that I checked and retightened. I dropped the tire off, tightened them up just a little bit more. But outside of that, this scooter actually came in really good shape. I'm really impressed with Nanrobot shipping this thing, to taking it out of the box and using it. So far, I really like it. So in my personal opinion, if you're on the fence about the D4 Plus and the D5 Plus, do yourself a favor. It's $200 more for this scooter right here. Get the get the D5 Plus. It has the brake lights on it. It has the blinker lights. It has a few more features. It has the alarm. You're not going to get that with the D4 Plus. So save that money up if you're on the low end budget. But if you're looking on the higher end budget, of course, there's other scooters out there too. I'm just recommending these ones. I really like them, and I'm a little partial to these. If you really want to save your money and get something that's a beast, so the LS7 and the RS7 are similar in specs as far as speed and range. They're all 3,600 watt scooters. Really, the battery and some of the options is what you're going to pay the difference for. So, save your money up for that. If you want to buy once and be done with it, that's the scooter to do it, in my opinion. So then let's look at some of the features on the handlebar. Of course, we got your normal JMP controllers, the eco and dual motors buttons here and here. The folding mechanism on this, actually, it's actually pretty smooth. I like it. I feel like it's a little bit better than the D4. And that's why for all of the things that are just a little bit better on the scooter, it's worth the $200, in my opinion. So, of course, you're going to purchase a scooter on the budget you have, and hey, nobody's knocking that. I'm just giving you my opinion and what I think about it. So, and then, the typical voltmeter and the horn and lights. I'll turn off the lights in here in the shop, and I'll turn on the lights for both of these scooters, and we can see them all lit up together. I really like showing off the lights. I think they're really cool. That's just me. So the brakes, they work pretty well. Just regular cable brakes on there. Nothing too fancy about them. They actually sit on the rotor all the way on this one. There's no adjustments that I needed to make. I mean, I still centered them just because I'm OCD with some things, and whether it needs it or not, I just do it. It's a preventative thing in my mind, and it makes me feel better, so that's why I do it. And then, of course, this one has full hydraulic brakes, which is really nice. But this scooter, interestingly enough, does not have EBS brakes or motor braking. It's just hydraulic brakes, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't need that with, in combination of each other. But I thought that was interesting that it didn't. But I can stop on a dime on this one. There's no problems. If those brakes are adjusted properly, those hydraulic brakes will stop this thing in no time. I've put myself in some pretty sketchy situations where I had to lay on those brakes really, really quickly, and I had no problem. Of course, the tire skid, but whatever. All right, so now let's look at some of the things on the side, and let's look at the charging. And by the way, while we're here, that speed charger port that I put in, freaking awesome, man. If that's something, watch my video. If that's something you're interested in doing, it's a must, because I've charged this thing up a few times now. I bought that speed charger from Dualtron because I liked it. It was 6.5 amps. It has the cooling fan. It automatically cuts off, and it only charges up your scooter to 66.4 volts, where the scooter actually charges up to 67.7. So it'll do about a 90% charge. And we all know that not fully charging the battery, yes, you get less range, but it increases the life of your battery. Now, you don't always want to speed charge it, and you want to use that brick charger. Mine is there on the bottom for just a regular brick charger, and you want to use that as often as possible. Get that long, slow charge. It helps balance out your battery cells. The D5 Plus has a coaxial charging port, which I thought was interesting because the D4 had the T66 connector, but this one has the coaxial. This one takes for almost dead about 10 or a little bit more hours to charge this one. This one has a 26 amp hour battery. This one has a 32 amp hour battery in it. So, of course, that's going to be a lot of the price in these scooters are in the batteries and the quality of the batteries. Let's look at the suspension in the back. It has 2 hydraulic shocks. Now, this doesn't have a lot of travel on it, but it's a smooth riding scooter. I like it. You can go over medium-sized bumps and things like that and not feel like you're going to get thrown off the scooter or jar your head off your shoulders. And, of course, the LS7 is like floating on a cloud. It's really nice. And you can see the big old shock in there. Fender aluminum. On the D5 Plus, it's plastic. Now, it's plastic fender in the back on the D5 Plus. On the RS7, It was plastic. It got broken shipping, and so I'm still waiting for Nanrobot to send me that. And they both have the footrest, which is really nice. That footrest there, the angle of it, it makes your foot sit on there really super nice. They really got that angle correct. I'm on that one. And while we're looking at the back of the scooters, as most of you know, and if you're just tuning into my channel, I switched the tires out on the front and back, so I made it kind of like an off-road, on-road type of deal. I'm still testing it out. I did notice today when I was riding this scooter, because I try to ride these scooters every day as much as I can, just for testing and to have fun. But it did slip out from underneath me when I punched it and I was going around a curve, which made me feel a little uneasy. So I'm still in the process of testing it and see what happens. Someone maybe even suggested that I take that tire and put it in the front and that tire in the back. Let me know what you think. I'm not a tire expert. If you have any more ideas on that or any ideas whatsoever, and there's things that you want me to do or see, just leave them down in the comments and let's do them together. Let's have fun together with these things. The swing arms on here is standard. The swing arms on the LS7, I mean, they're just beefy. They're massive. You just feel so secure on that thing. I got some aftermarket lights I put right there that they don't come with it, so they're nothing special. They're just red blinking lights that I put on. So the deck's super wide on the LS7, super long. Really good for us big guys. This deck, I did the measurements on it last night in my other video, but it's really comfortable for my wife. Of course, like I said, she's 5'5", so that's great for her. And maybe for even us shorter, lighter guys, that scooter is good. I mean, I would take this, up to the store, ride it around in the city. I like the angles on it, of the deck on the side. This one it's not really a city rider. It's too big. It's too cumbersome. This one weighs 88 pounds. The D5 weighs 70 pounds. So that kind of gives you ideas. This one's a little bit of a beast to be putting in and out of the back of your car or your truck. So trust me, I've done it several times now, and it's not easy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a quick look at what the lights look like on the scooters with the lights turned out. That's what the lights look like. Of course, the RS7 has the blinking lights on the side. And then let's see if we can see one of the blinkers on the yeah, you can see it kind of blinking there. Not super bright, but it's better than nothing, and they do work well. So there you go on that. And it beeps too, but it might be a little annoying because I'm here in the shop. But when you're on the road, it's fine. So I'll give you a look out. Let's take this, give you a little closer look what the lights look like on both scooters. Of course, you got your lights in the front, and then on the LS7, here's your brake light. All right, and then you have a LED light that's always on. And then same with your blinker lights, and that's your brake light. Turn that on. Can you see that working? So there you go. All right, let's move along with the video, and I'll get these lights turned back on. Be back in 1 sec. Okay, folks, so in conclusion, hopefully this video will help you out if you're trying to make a decision between, hey, do I save the money for the high dollar go fast scooter, or do I save it for, the mid-range, pocket friendly scooter? So that will help you make that decision on that. And if there's anything else you want to know about these scooters, or there's things that you would like to see me do in the future as far as modifications, just drop it in the comment. That's one thing I really enjoy about these scooters is doing things like that and doing it with my YouTube family, and I find it really enjoyable. And one thing I really like about these scooters is a lot of the aftermarket parts, especially if you shop around a little bit, they're fairly inexpensive. Your connectors, your wires, of course the batteries are always going to be expensive if you have to replace those, but the upgrades over time aren't that much money. That one light that I recommended, I mean, the thing was 25 bucks off of Amazon. It's 1800 lumens and it has a 6-hour runtime. So, you know, the light's gonna outlast however far you can run that scooter. So things like that are really enjoyable, and it doesn't break the bank at the same time. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, hit the bell notification button, share the videos, and until next time, ride safe.